I woke up that morning with the customary weight of the day ahead. The kind of weight that settles into your shoulders when you're accustomed to being the stable one, the quiet one, the one who doesn't create a fuss. My name's Julian Marsh, 34 years old, and I've always been the sort to keep my head down and get things done. Harper, my wife, used to call me her rock, back when we first got together. Her speech sweet and loving like she meant it. But lately I'd started to seem more like something she was ashamed of, a gap in the immaculate picture she wished to display to the world. That morning she was in the kitchen stirring her coffee, her eyes darting anywhere but at me. "Julian," she said, her voice clipped, "I need you to do me a favor. Claire's birthday dinner is tonight, and I don't think you should come." I stood there, halfway through lacing my work boots, the laces still loose in my hands. Claire's her younger sister, the golden girl of the family, always noisy and brilliant and full of plans. It was a big night. Harper moved on, still not looking at me. "She's introducing her new partner, and it's kind of a special event. I just believe it'd be better if you stayed home." I opened my lips to ask why, but she cut me off before I could. "I told them you had an accident," she murmured, her words pouring out like she'd rehearsed them. "It's easier that way. An accident. Like I fell over my own feet and couldn't be trusted around polite society." I felt my chest tighten. A little burn rising up my neck? My job as a janitor, it's honest work. Mopping floors and fixing what's broken. It's never bothered me. I appreciate the simplicity of it, the way it keeps my hands occupied and my head clear. But standing there, watching Harper twist her coffee spoon between her fingers, I understood. It bothered her. She converted my existence into a falsehood, to save face. "Okay," I said, my voice flat, because what else was there to say? She didn't want me there. Didn't want me next to her in front of her family. Didn't want them to see the man she'd married. I finished lacing my boots, grabbed my jacket, and strode out the door without another word. The air outside was frigid, stinging at my face as I headed to work, but it didn't cool the heat growing inside me. I wasn't mad. Not yet. I was just stunned, like I'd been smacked awake after years of sleep strolling through our lives together. She'd begged me to stay home before. Sure, tiny things. A girls' night. A short coffee with her mom. But this was different. This was Claire's big moment, and Harper had decided I didn't belong in it. I spent the day moving a broom over the warehouse floor, the continuous scrape of it against concrete, preventing my thoughts from falling too far. I kept rehearsing her words. It's simpler that way. Simpler for who? For her? For Claire? For the boyfriend I'd never met? I pictured them all seated around some beautiful table, chatting and clinking glasses, as I sat alone in our small flat. My hands tightened around the broom handle. I wasn't some nasty secret. I worked hard. I paid bills. I'd been there for Harper during every late-night rant about her family, every time she needed someone to lean on, and now she was pretending I didn't exist. Because what? Because I didn't wear a suit to work? Because I smelled like cleaner instead of perfume? By the time I returned home that evening, the flat was empty. Harper had left a note on the counter, back late. "Don't wait up." I crumpled it in my palm and dumped it in the trash. I didn't wait up. I didn't even turn on the TV. I just sat there in the dark, the silence crushing in around me, and I wondered how long she'd been ashamed of me, how long I'd let her be. It wasn't about the supper, not really. It was about the way she'd looked at me, or didn't look at me, like I was something to hide, something to explain away. I didn't dispute with her that morning, because I never argue. I'm not that man. But as I sat there staring at the wall, I felt something move inside me. Not anger, not yet, but a question, a big one. What was I to her, honestly, and what was I going to do about it? She couldn't put her mind around it. Harper's eyes locked upon the phone, wide and scared, like she'd been caught stealing. Her parents turned to her, their features tense with inquiries they didn't ask out loud. And Damon? He was grinning. Like it was no big deal. Like he hadn't just broken their whole universe with 3 words. I didn't say anything back there on the call. I didn't have to. They saw me, really saw me, for the first time. And it wasn't because I wanted them to. It was because the deception Harper crafted couldn't hold up anymore. She told them I was nothing, a guy who cleaned floors and remained out of the way. And now, they realized she was wrong. I wondered what that felt like. Unpleasant, maybe. Having her story rip open in front of everyone she cared about impressing. I stood up and dumped the pasta in the garbage. The plate clattered in the sink, louder than I wanted. My hands were steady, but within something was churning, not rage. Not yet. Just a slow, heavy awareness. Harper didn't just conceal me from them, she hid me. From herself. She never asked about my day. Never wondered why I'd arrive home late some evenings, or why I'd gaze at my laptop for hours. She saw what she wanted to see, a quiet spouse, one who didn't fit her beautiful life, and I allowed her. Because I thought that's what love was, giving her everything she needed, even if it meant shrinking myself down to fit in her pocket. But watching her expression on that call, the way she trembled when Damon said my name, I knew it wasn't love. It was convenience. I was easy to explain away, until I wasn't. The clock on the wall passed 9, then 9:30, and I stayed where I was, leaning on the counter, staring at nothing. I should have called her, demanded answers. But what? Would that change? She'd come home eventually, and we'd have to confront it. Then, for now, I just let it sit there, the truth, lingering in the air like dust after a storm. I thought of Damon, good youngster, bright, one of the best on our team at Corva. He'd been talking about Claire for weeks, delighted to meet. Her family, never knowing I was part of them. I liked him, respected him, and now he'd accidentally lit a match beneath everything Harper had tried to keep nice and tidy. I didn't blame him. He didn't know the disaster he was walking into. But Harper, she knew. She crafted this falsehood, block by block, and I'd handed her the mortar without even realizing it. I thought about the past 3 years, all the times I'd been quiet when she pushed me off, family gatherings where I'd sit at the end of the table, nodding along as they spoke about Claire's latest excursion, or her mom's new decorating project. I'd paid half the lake house rent, replaced their leaky pipes, sent money for Claire's loans, and they'd grin and say, thanks, like it was nothing, like I was nothing. Harper never corrected them. Never. Said, hey, Julian's more than that. She let people see me as the